Imagine, just for a second, learning a new language in minutes. Or remembering absolutely everything you read. Maybe even living on forever, beyond your physical body.
Sounds like pure science fiction, doesn't it?
It really does. But, breakthroughs in mind augmentation and digital immortality are
Yeah.
pulling these ideas out of fiction and, well, much closer to our reality, faster than we might think.
Absolutely. So today we're doing a deep dive into these two really interconnected frontiers, mind augmentation and digital immortality. We'll get into the incredible tech making it possible,
Right.
the amazing benefits they seem to promise, but also the really profound ethical and societal questions they're forcing us all to confront.
Yeah, exactly. So our mission today is to unpack what's, actually possible right now, what's maybe just over the horizon, and I think most importantly, what it all means for, well, for being human.
A small topic, though.
Just a light one for today. Okay, so to kick things off, let's get a handle on the terms. When we talk about mind augmentation, what exactly are we talking about?
Okay, so broadly, mind augmentation is about enhancing our cognitive abilities, thinking, learning, memory, using technology, neuroscience, even pharmacology. The main goal really is to boost human intelligence
Uh-huh.
and kind of bridge that gap between our biology and technology, speeding up learning, memory, problem solving, stuff like that.
And it feels like this isn't totally new, right? I mean, haven't humans always tried to, expand our mental reach?
That's a really key point, yeah. Human intelligence has always been evolving. I mean, think way back ancient memory tricks, mnemonics, then the invention of writing itself. That was huge for externalizing memory.
Right, like an external hard drive.
Exactly. And
Yeah.
then computers, the internet, more externalization. But what's different now, fundamentally different, is we're moving beyond just external tools. We're looking at directly enhancing the brain's actual abilities
Also.
with things like brain-computer interfaces, BCIs, AI neurostimulation. It's about getting inside the system, direct intervention.
Okay, so that's augmentation boosting the brain we have.
Yeah.
Digital immortality sounds, wow, way more radical. How does that fit in?
It's a much bigger leap, absolutely. Digital immortality, or sometimes you hear whole brain emulation, is this hypothetical idea. It's about scanning and transferring all the information in a human brain.
All of it, like memories, personality.
Everything, memories, thoughts, personality quirks, the whole package into a digital form,
Right.
like a computer or some kind of artificial neural network.
Wow. So the ultimate goal there is what? A perfect digital copy.
Essentially, yeah. The
Mhm.
idea is to create a digital replica of a person's mind that could theoretically operate completely independently of their biological body.
And live on.
Potentially, yeah.
Yeah.
Living on indefinitely in
Right.
some virtual space, or maybe even being transferred into a new physical form, like a robot body or something. It's about breaking free from biological limits altogether.
Yeah, that's staggering. So, okay, how are we actually getting there? Let's dig into the tech driving this. Brain-computer interfaces, BCIs, they still sound so futuristic.
They do feel like sci-fi, but they're very real and developing fast. Basically, BCIs allow direct communication between the brain and, say, a computer or another device.
Yeah.
They work by detecting and interpreting the brain's electrical signals, the stuff your neurons are doing anyway, and translating those signals into digital commands. So, thought-driven control of technology.
Okay. And I know there are different types, right? Some you wear, some are more involved.
That's right. You've got non-invasive ones like EEG caps with electrodes on the scalp. You see those in gaming, cognitive training, neurofeedback.
Uh-huh.
Then semi-invasive, electrodes go under the skull but not in the brain tissue itself. Used a lot in medical rehab, controlling prosthetics.
Okay.
And then the most direct approach is invasive BCIs, electrodes implanted right into the brain tissue. That gives you super high precision control.
And that's for things like paralysis.
Exactly. Treating paralysis, restoring communication, and even experimentally for directly enhancing cognitive functions.
We hear a lot about Elon Musk's Neuralink in this space. Are there other examples already making a difference?
Neuralink is definitely pushing boundaries with implantable chips for thought control. But yeah, we've already seen amazing things. People with paralysis using BCIs to control robotic arms just by thinking about moving.
Wow.
Or typing on a screen using thought alone. Even gaming is looking at this for ultimate immersive experiences. The long-term vision, like Musk says, is aiming for a symbiosis with artificial intelligence.
So potentially getting rid of keyboards and mice eventually.
That's the idea. Seamless interaction. Just think it and it happens.
Okay, huge shift. Now, beyond directly linking brain and machine, what about artificial intelligence itself? How is AI boosting our cognition? It's not just an external tool anymore, is it?
Not at all. AI's moved way beyond just automating tasks. It's actively becoming part of our cognitive process, assisting memory, learning, decision-making.
Like ChatGPT or Google Gemini.
Exactly. Those AI mentioned assistants give you instant info retrieval. Then you have smart note-taking apps like Obsidian or Notion using AI to help organize incredibly complex information.
Right.
And AI models are already assisting in really complex fields: financial forecasting, medical diagnosis, strategic planning. It's becoming a cognitive partner.
I remember reading about an MIT study, something about an AI tutor.
Oh yeah, that was fascinating. 2023, I think. MIT researchers built an AI tutor that literally adapted lessons based on a student's real-time brain activity.
Seriously? How did that work out?
The students using it showed a 30% jump in retention rates. 30%, that's huge. It suggests AI could lead to things like, instant language learning, maybe superhuman recall, even predictive cognition AI helping anticipate needs or problems.
Like Suck and Adele said, it's about amplifying humans, not replacing them.
Precisely. AI won't replace humans, but it will amplify those who learn how to use it. That really sums it up.
Okay, so merging with machines, AI assistants. What about just giving the brain a direct electrical tune-up? Neurostimulation sounds different again.
It is a distinct approach, yeah. Neurostimulation uses electrical or magnetic pulses. The aim is to enhance cognitive function, improve memory, sometimes even treat mental health issues.
What kinds are there?
Well, there's TMS, transcranial magnetic stimulation. It's non-invasive, used for depression, cognitive decline. Then TDCS, transcranial direct current stimulation. That uses really low-level currents on specific brain areas.
And what does TDCS do?
It's shown promise for enhancing learning, creativity. Some athletes and professionals use devices like from Halo Neuroscience for better focus.
And then there's the more invasive version.
Right, deep brain stimulation, or DBS. That involves implanting electrodes, similar to some BCIs, but the goal is therapeutic stimulation. It's used for Parkinson's, epilepsy, some memory disorders. It's even helping stroke survivors regain cognitive function.
So the potential is pretty significant.
It really is. Dr. Andres Lozano said, electrical stimulation of the brain has the potential to unlock cognitive capabilities we never thought possible. You could imagine a future where maybe neurostimulation is like having a coffee, but a much more targeted, powerful cognitive boost.
A daily brain boost, perhaps.
Maybe.
Okay, and finally, the chemical route. Smart drugs, nootropics. These get a lot of buzz.
They do. These are basically compounds, some drugs, some supplements designed to improve things like memory, focus, learning speed. You hear modafinil mentioned a lot for alertness. Racetams are another class, studied for memory and maybe dementia prevention. Even common stuff like L-theanine combined with caffeine that gives focus without the jitters for many people.
But these obviously raise big questions, don't they? Like, is it fair? Does it create an uneven playing field?
Absolutely. That's the core ethical debate. Is it like doping on sports, an unfair advantage? Or, as others argue, is it just the next step in human evolution? Dr. Andrew Huberman asks, if we can improve intelligence safely, why wouldn't we? The future there might be personalized nootropics formulas tailored exactly to your brain chemistry for optimal enhancement. That's another potential revolution.
Okay, so we have these incredibly powerful tools emerging: BCIs, AI, neurostimulation, nootropics. Let's talk about the upside. What potential do these really unlock?
Well, the potential is, frankly, almost superhuman in some ways. One of the most immediate impacts is boosting memory and learning. Massively.
Also,
Imagine BCIs that could potentially upload information directly, or AI assistants that manage and recall vast knowledge for you instantly. And neurostimulation enhancing synaptic plasticity, that's the brain's ability to form connections, making learning much faster.
which is critical now, right, with the sheer amount of information coming at us.
It's essential for survival, almost. Peter Diamandis pointed out information is doubling, every 12 hours? Those who can learn faster will just pull ahead. That MIT study you mentioned, TDCS boosting language retention by 40%, that's transformative.
And it's not just about rote learning or IQ points, is it? It's broader than that.
Oh, definitely. It's about enhancing problem solving, creativity, focus across all sorts of professions. Think surgeons using AI for unbelievable precision.
Or traders analyzing markets faster than humanly possible.
Exactly. Or writers, artists using AI to brainstorm or generate variations. It could amplify creativity itself. Maybe like Einstein said, creativity is intelligence having fun. What if we make intelligence more creative?
It points towards a massive productivity boom.
For sure. Big companies are already using AI assistants to cut down decision fatigue. Studies show professionals using these kinds of tools can finish complex tasks maybe 25% faster. Cal Newport's point about deep focus being the key skill. These tools could enable that on a new level.
And beyond performance, there's huge hope for medical applications, right? Especially with aging populations and cognitive decline.
A massive lifeline. Alzheimer's, dementia. These are devastating. Mind augmentation offers real hope. BCIs are already giving voices back to people with ALS or stroke damage. DBS is significantly helping with Parkinson's and epilepsy symptoms. Neurostimulations showing promise for memory in early Alzheimer's. That ALS patient in 2023 using an implant to speak through a computer, that's profound.
It really is.
Dr. Miguel Nicolelis put it well. The brain has an incredible ability to heal. Mind augmentation is just accelerating the process, helping the brain help itself.
So looking at the big picture, could these technologies actually let us expand beyond our current biological limits? Is that the ultimate potential?
That really is the grand vision for many in the field. That mind augmentation is the key to unlocking the next stage of human evolution, moving beyond the constraints of natural intelligence.
What would that look like?
Maybe extended cognitive lifespans, processing information at speeds we can't currently imagine, problem solving on a whole new scale, maybe even real-time collaboration between our brains and AI happening inside our heads.
That leads us straight into the deep end, ethically speaking. As Yuval Noah Harari asks, it's not if we can, but how we do it responsibly.
Exactly, and this is where it gets incredibly complex. Let's start with the brain itself, trying to replicate it for digital immortality.
What?
We're talking 86 billion neurons, each with thousands of connections.
Mind-boggling complexity.
It's a monumental challenge just to map it, let alone replicate its function faithfully. And then there's the giant elephant in the room. Consciousness, self-awareness. What even is it?
Still don't really know.
Precisely. So how do you transfer something you don't understand into a digital format? That's a fundamental hurdle, technically and philosophically.
Okay, and then the practical issue. Access. If these enhancements are powerful, who gets them? Is this going to create an intelligence divide?
That's a huge worry, a very real possibility of a widening gap. If only the wealthy can afford cutting-edge cognitive boosts, you could end up with a kind of elite class of superhumans.
And what happens then?
Job markets could skew massively towards the augmented. Educational gaps could become chasms. That World Economic Forum report predicted a 40% productivity boost by 2035 from AI enhancement, but maybe only for those who can afford it.
Which makes Mikio Kaku's point really sharp, that enhancement shouldn't be a privilege, it should be a right.
It becomes a question of fundamental fairness, a societal choice.
And what about privacy? Security? If our brains are linked to networks, hacking takes on a whole new meaning.
It's the ultimate privacy nightmare, isn't it? BCIs, AI assistants privy to our thoughts.
No.
Of course, the line, could our brain data be stolen, used for surveillance by governments or corporations?
Or even manipulated.
That's the fear. AI subtly influencing our thoughts, our decisions. That neurotech company accused in 2023 of tracking subconscious responses to ads. That's creepy and maybe just the beginning.
Edward Snowden warned about this, didn't he?
He did. He said in the wrong hands, mind augmentation could be the most dangerous tool for mass control. The potential for misuse is just enormous.
Which leads to identity. If AI and BCIs are shaping our thoughts, our memories, are we still us? Where does the human end and the technology begin?
Deep water, philosophically. If AI augments your memory, does that change who you are? If thoughts can be influenced externally, what happens to free will? Could we lose our sense of individuality?
It reminds me of historical fears, like Socrates worrying writing would weaken memory.
It's a very similar dilemma, but amplified massively. Will augmentation weaken our natural abilities or lift us up in ways we can't foresee? Yuval Harari nails it. The essence of being human is to think independently. If our minds are augmented by AI, what remains truly human?
And that question gets even sharper with digital immortality. Is it uploading a mind or losing a soul.
It touches something really deep, that story about the grieving father using AI to simulate his daughter's voice. He found comfort, but he knew, I know it's not her. It highlights that idea of building ghosts with Wi-Fi.
So where are we really with digital immortality in 2025? What's fact and what's still sci-fi?
Okay, fact. We have sophisticated chatbots trained on text data. We have very realistic voice cloning. Companies like Replica, Hereafter AI. Soul machines let you interact with AI versions of people, living or deceased. Some people are paying to create their digital double.
But that's not true immortality, right?
Right. That's simulation based on data. What's still science fiction is uploading a full brain, transferring actual consciousness, living forever in the cloud, cloning a soul. We can copy patterns of behavior, maybe speech patterns, but not awareness itself, not the inner experience.
That distinction feels critical. Simulation versus actual conscious transfer.
Absolutely vital. Because while simulation might offer comfort or preserve history, the dangers are real. False hope, emotional confusion, tech companies owning your digital likeness, people mistaking the copy for the real thing. Kurzweil might predict it by 2045, but Harari warns of soulless replicas. MIT scholars talk about emotional illusions. The core idea: memories alone do not make a soul.
And even with less radical augmentation, all this enhanced processing, could it lead to cognitive overload, burnout? We struggle with information now.
It's a definite risk. Faster intake, faster processing. It sounds great, but our brains might not be built for it 24/7. It could lead to decision fatigue, mental exhaustion, maybe even feeling emotionally detached. Neuroscientists worry that constant artificial stimulation, like from neurostimulation, might mess with natural brain rhythms long term. Dr. Huberman's point again, the brain needs downtime. Constant augmentation may do more harm than good. We need balance.
Okay, so wrapping up the challenges, the ultimate ethical question seems to be, should there be limits? And who gets to draw those lines?
That's the million-dollar question, maybe $1 trillion. As the line blurs between human and machine, do we regulate cognitive enhancement like performance-enhancing drugs?
And employers require it.
Should governments restrict access to prevent manipulation? These are active debates. The EU proposing neuro rights regulations in 2024 is a big step. Chile actually amending its constitution to protect brain data as a human right. That's groundbreaking.
Wow, I didn't realize that.
Yeah, it's happening now. Dr. Rafael Yusta puts it starkly. Just because we can enhance the brain doesn't mean we should, at least not without ethical safeguards. We need to build those guardrails as we build the technology.
So looking forward then, what does this future landscape really look like? Who are the main players shaping what happens next?
Well, first, the tech itself. The cyborg mind, or brain-computer symbiosis, seems increasingly likely. As BCIs get better, that line between human and machine intelligence just gets blurrier. Direct brain-to-AI communication might replace keyboards, maybe even speech for some things.
What's the timeline looking like?
Predictions vary, obviously, but maybe widespread non-invasive BCIs for medicine and productivity in the next 5–10 years. Then, 2030s, perhaps, neural implants allowing two-way brain AI thought-to-text brain-cloud links, and beyond 2040, maybe full brain uploading AI human hybrids. It gets pretty speculative.
And that Neuralink implant this year feels like a concrete step in that direction.
A huge step. Allowing someone to control a computer with thought alone, that really validates the path towards symbiosis. It reinforces Kurzweil's idea. The future of intelligence is not AI replacing humans, but AI merging with humans.
So AI becomes less of a tool and more integrated.
Yeah.
How does that change our actual thinking?
It could go way beyond just better memory. We're talking AI reshaping, decision-making, problem-solving, creativity on a potentially superhuman level.
Yeah.
Think about predictive cognition, AI anticipating your thoughts or needs. Or real-time language learning via implants. Or AI co-piloting creative work, writing, music, art, in ways we haven't even imagined yet. MIT's work on AI predicting decision patterns from brain activity. That hints at AI becoming a strategic partner in our thinking.
And the ultimate endpoint, uploading the mind to the cloud, that still feels like the biggest leap.
It does, but it's being seriously discussed and researched. The concept involves mapping the brain in minute detail, simulating that structure and function on powerful computers, maybe enhancing it with AI.
Are people actually working on this?
Well, Neuralink has hinted it's a long-term ambition. Companies like Nectome are focused on preserving brain structures perfectly, hoping future tech can revive them digitally. Dr. Aubrey de Grey's provocative claim that the first human to live forever may have already been born plays right into this possibility.
But this idea of superintelligence, whether biological augmentation or digital upload, Are we remotely ready for the ethics of that?
That's the core anxiety, isn't it? Will augmented individuals have an unfair, perhaps insurmountable advantage? Should we legislate limits on intelligence itself? And if consciousness is uploaded, is it still human? What are its rights, its nature?
Are policymakers grappling with this?
They're starting to. The UN discussions on neural rights in 2023 were a sign. It's about protecting against cognitive manipulation, ensuring fairness. Dr. Yusuf's point, again, this has to serve everyone, not just the privileged few. The stakes are incredibly high.
So who holds the power to shape this? Is it big tech driving the innovation, governments trying to regulate? Or does society get a say?
It's a complex dance between all three. Big tech Neuralink, Meta, Google DeepMind, Kernel, they're pouring billions in, driving the R&D. But that raises huge flags about data privacy, corporate control over our minds, potential manipulation. Dr. Yus warned, the companies that control neurotechnology will hold the keys to human cognition itself.
A sobering thought. But governments are trying to regulate.
Yes, increasingly. The EU's Neuro Rights Bill, Chile's constitutional amendment, these are attempts to build frameworks. Key debates are treat augmentation like drugs, prevent brain hacking, define the legal status of enhanced or digital minds. Dr. Nita Farahany emphasizes protecting cognitive liberty, our basic freedom of thought.
And the social divide you mentioned earlier, that risk of creating two classes of humans.
If access isn't managed carefully, yes. If it's only for the rich, you could end up with a deep societal split, the enhanced and the baseline humans. A potential dystopia, or maybe, if handled right, a utopia where everyone benefits. Harari's question is central. Who gets to decide who benefits?
And what does the public think? Are people eager for this or wary?
It's mixed, but leans towards caution. That 2024 global survey found strong support, about 78%, for using this tech for medical reasons, but trust in big tech to handle brain data, very low, 71% said no, and huge support, 83%, for government regulation.
So people see the potential benefits but want strong oversight.
Exactly. As Dr. Nicola said, mind augmentation is coming, whether we like it or not. We must prepare now. The conversation needs to happen broadly, not just in labs and boardrooms.
Okay, so we've covered a massive amount of ground today. From the technologies themselves, BCIs, AI, neurostimulation, nootropics, to the incredible potential benefits.
Right. Enhancing learning, productivity, treating devastating diseases.
But also confronting those really deep ethical challenges, inequality, privacy, identity.
Yeah, and even questioning the nature of the soul when we talk about digital copies. It forces us to examine what we value most about being human.
And it really feels like we're at a crossroads. The choices made now by tech companies, by governments, by all of us, really will shape whether this leads to, a future of expanded potential for everyone or something much darker.
Absolutely. So as we stand right here on the verge of this new era where minds and machines start to merge, maybe the question to leave you with is this.
Will you be a spectator watching this unfold? Or will you be a participant in shaping this completely unprecedented transformation of what it means to be human?